When healing begins, purpose awakens. This is a major insight into faith, healing, and purpose. Welcome back to a major insight into faith, healing, and purpose. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure that we are live on all platforms. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back, y'all. And tonight, our topic is the truth we avoid. Underlined, right? That is underlined. All right, so let's dive into this. And I'm excited to be here with you guys. So give me just a minute to get the housekeeping in order. Y'all, I'm excited because I'm testing out a new feature. And let's see. There we go. Can you guys see me? Yes, yes, you can see me. Great, great, great. Y'all, my for some reason I think the computer, the internet, whatever, I've probably been doing too much today. It is lagging today, technology, but we are here nonetheless. And I'm excited to be here with you guys. Like I said, I'm testing out a new feature on my streaming platform, and it's actually the teleprompter. So I wrote the script today, and I'm going to use it tonight. Okay, so y'all bear with me. I may not use it for the entire thing because y'all know I love to go off the dome. I usually just have pointers, but let's see how this script works tonight. Okay, with this teleprompter, but. Welcome back, y'all. I'm crazy, I know, but welcome back to a major insight into faith, healing, and purpose. My name is Ashley Major. I am a coach. I'm a cycle break and identity coach. I'm a speaker and author. I'm a daughter of the King, and I help women that are navigating toxic relationships, toxic cycles, those that are on this journey of becoming. They're healing, but they want to become. If that sounds like you, you're in the right place, because I help women that are on this journey go from healing to becoming so that they can walk authentically in their God-given purpose, own their identity in Christ, and create a life of impact, influence, and legacy built in truth. And so tonight, I'm excited to be here with all of you because tonight we are talking about a topic that I think everyone needs to hear, right? I've been on this journey this week, these last 7 days, where I'm so grateful for the community that I have because, y'all, I've been held accountable this week. So we're talking about accountability, y'all. This is the truth that we don't like hearing, okay? So if you're tuning in live, drop an L in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, drop an R in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to read the comments. So if you're getting value throughout this this call, drop a V. If you had a breakthrough, just leave the comments. I read through all of them, okay? And so, let's really talk about this. And I want to paint a picture because I think this is definitely a space where, we get so caught up in me, my feelings. We get caught up in being the victim that we don't stop to think, right? We don't like the mirror being put in front of our face because now we actually have to face our truth. And so my teleprompter is on, y'all, and I completely forgot to mention we got some housekeeping. Okay, before we dive into this topic, I do want to do some housekeeping right quick, and I just want to let you guys know that I do have a masterclass that is coming up. And this masterclass is the Becoming Her Again workshop. For those of you that have been a part of this workshop in the past, you know that it is definitely one that we do the work. It's interactive. You're not just going to sit down and listen to me speak. You're actually going to participate. There's work for you to do. So come ready to do the work, to start your journey, to help you release the past, rebuild your identity, and reignite your faith. This workshop is for the woman that is desiring more peace, more of who she is, right? More purpose. This is a transformative workshop. And so I pray that you guys show up. I'm excited to just work through this with you guys. Also, I'll say this: if you are unable to attend the workshop, this is December 16th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. So it's an hour and a half. If you're unable to show up on that day, we do have, well, I do have slots where you guys can book one-on-one coaching with me. Okay. So you can book a restoration call with me. And that call, we get to go through the process of just helping you get clear on what it is that you need to do, where you need to go. And you can scan this QR code. And let me see if that came up. Y'all, everything is moving slow tonight. Where are we? Let's see. Okay, so that should be up on the screen. Go ahead, scan the QR code, and book the restoration call, okay? And last but certainly not least, sign for our newsletter, y'all, okay? So this newsletter I pour out every single week, where there are insights, there's devotional, there's tools that's in our newsletter. You get updates on what's happening in the community. So be sure to join our newsletter. And last, but certainly by no means least, y'all, because I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but I have to get this out of the way so we can dive into this. Last thing is our community. So if you are not a part of the community and you would like to be a part of this community, we have our 365 days on purpose. Y'all, we are getting ready to start a new challenge. So if you're not a part of that community as yet, I encourage you to join the community. We are growing day by day, y'all. And next year, Life Lasts, we have a new challenge that's coming up. I have some great things in store for the community, so be sure to join the community. All right, that is it with the housekeeping. Let's dive into this topic tonight, y'all. So again, our topic is all about accountability tonight. And so I want you to picture this, okay? There's two sisters. And I'm going to use sisters because I have a pretty large family. I have 6 brothers and 3 sisters. And a lot of growing up, I was away from the family in my older years, and I'm the oldest daughter. And so being the oldest daughter, my youngest sister, I really didn't have a relationship with her growing up because I was out the house during her formative years. And so now, being an adult, both of us being adults, sometimes it's kind of hard. We've been in a space where we're trying to really create a closer bond. And I'm like that with all of my sisters, actually, just trying to create a closer bond, being intentional about that. But I understand this dynamic, right? And I was in my program. I have a mastermind program that I teach. And one of my students she was talking about, just sometimes family can be can be so harsh and can be, the ones that speak down to you, right? And those may not have been her exact words, but that was the gist of the conversation. And so one of the things that I brought up to her was like, I want you to pay attention to what's said and not how you feel, because you have 2 sisters, right? Let's picture this scenario. There's 2 sisters. They're a few years apart, let's say 3 or 4 years apart, and their worlds are completely different, right? And if we're going to use my scenario between me and my younger sister, we're 10 years apart. right? So our worlds are completely different. We grew up in different eras, right? I grew up where I grew up in the 90s, right? In the 90s, we played outside. There were so many different ways that we showed up in the world, the ways that we created relationships and fostered friendships versus those that grew up in the 2000s, right? And so our everything is different, right? And so you have a sister, the youngest sister. She is tenderhearted. She is full of potential. She loves life. But sometimes, she can allow the world, she can allow other people's voices to manipulate how she shows up in the world. The voices of others really dictates how she loves herself, right? The lies, the criticisms, the opinions that are often disguised as truth has now left her in a space where she now views herself differently, right? She views herself as not enough. She views herself as always messing up or feeling less than, right? And this is because she didn't filter the things that she's heard. She just absorbed everything. She took it all in. And if you are the little sister, drop a me in the chat, right? You've been in that space, or you're currently in that space where the world just started beating up on you and you believed everything that was said to you. Okay. And because of this, now your decisions also match these lies. Your decisions match your beliefs, right? And so these decisions that you've made have kept you in a space where you feel stuck, right? This younger sister, she is stuck. She is making all the wrong decisions, right? And they're wrong because in the moment they feel right, but when she's in it and she's experiencing the after effect, it's like, oh wow, how did I even get here? Like, how did I allow myself to make this decision, right? And now she is a victim. She puts herself in the space of being a victim. Now you have the older sister. The older sister, she's experienced life. She's been through some things. She's learned. She's able to see through certain things. She's able to see what her sister's going through. One, because she too have been in similar situations, but she's now overcome them. She's on the other side, and now she can speak to who she see her sister is, because not only does she know from experience, but she also sees the strength in her sister. She also sees the potential in her sister. She also sees the woman that her sister could be if she stops surrendering to the lies. And so the older sister tries to help. She speaks life into a younger sister, but she can be rather blunt. She can be rather harsh with her words, right? But the words that she say, they are truth. It's not that her intention is to be unkind. She just loves her sister so deeply, and she doesn't want to see her go down a different path. She wants her to live up to her full potential. She is refusing to let her sister self-destruct. How many of you have sisters in your life, may not be biological, but friends, loved ones, people that see your strength and they are constantly pouring into you? They refuse to let you rot. They refuse to let you just drift away into the abyss. But yet, you look at them and you're offended. You get defensive. You feel attacked, because that's what's happening with this little sister. Every time her older sister speaks, every time her older sister puts the mirror in front of her and be like, hey, you're going the wrong way. Hey, I need you to tighten up. I need you to get your life in order. She flinches, she folds, she feels like the victim, she feels attacked, she has judgment when the intention is actually love. Because anybody who truly loves you, they're going to put the mirror in front of you. Anybody who truly values you, they're going to tell you when you're messing up. They're going to tell you if you're going the wrong way. They're not going to watch you go the wrong way, enable your behavior. They're going left, you're going right. They're not telling you that you're going the wrong way. but yet they say they love you, that's not somebody that loves you. The person that loves you, they're going to encourage you to turn your life around if they see you going the wrong way. And so there's tension that is between these two sisters. The tension is in hate. It's actually accountability. Because the older sister is offering accountability, but the younger sister is resisting it. Does it sound familiar in your life? Does it sound like you and a friend, you and a sister, you and a brother? It could be anybody in your life, but does this sound familiar? Right? Because many of us, we're the younger sister. Many of us have had older sisters in our lives, or we have older sisters in our lives that have been holding us accountable, that have been talking to us and showing us and teaching us, but we're offended, we feel judged, we feel attacked, right? But accountability truly reveals who we are. And so this story, this analogy that I use, this exposes the heart of our conversation today. So I want us to dive into the truths. There are 3 truths about accountability, growth, and emotional honesty. Okay. So the first thing is we tend to avoid the mirror, y'all. We avoid the mirror. Why do we avoid the mirror? All right, y'all, leave a comment. Let me know if I'm lagging because I think it's lagging. Let's see what's going on. Yes, all right. Y'all, for some reason, I don't know what's going on. But anyways, let's keep going, okay? The great thing about this is I can repurpose this. So let's see. Okay, seems like we catching up. Good. All right, y'all. So let's dive back into this. So the first point is that we avoid the mirror. Okay. Proverbs 27, verse 17 says, iron sharpens iron. So one person sharpens another. We are called to sharpen one another. But the truth is, we don't mind reflecting ourselves until, or we don't mind looking at ourselves, right? We don't mind seeing ourselves in the mirror until the reflection becomes unflattering, until we don't like what we see in the mirror. When we start disliking what we see in the mirror, we avoid the mirror. We love the idea of growth, but we struggle with the idea and the reality of correction. We do not like correction. And I'm speaking for the masses. The masses, majority, it's not everybody, but majority of us do not like correction. Our instinctive human nature is to avoid the mirror because the mirror doesn't lie. The mirror shows us exactly who we are. It shows us what's real. But oftentimes, we rather cling to a fantasy. We rather deceive ourselves. We rather live in deception. And so, why is it that when someone points out the very thing that we already know we need to work on, we get offended? We already know within ourselves that we need to work on this. But when someone else points it out now, we are offended. Why is that the case? And I'm here to show you that usually this is the case because seeing ourselves truthfully means that we have to acknowledge the poor decisions that we've made. That means that we have to acknowledge that we chose that relationship that we went through that was toxic, that was brutal, that left us feeling less than. We're no longer the victim in our story. We have to accept and acknowledge that we ignored the signs. We have to accept and acknowledge that we procrastinated. We have to accept and acknowledge that we did not steward the opportunity well. Whatever this looks like for you, we have to face the truth. And this is why. This is why when someone else puts the mirror in front of us, we already know deep down that this is the case. We've never said it out loud, but we know. Now, when somebody else speaks this truth out loud, we are the victim and we are offended. And I know it stings. I know it hurts, right? But instead of saying or telling that person, yeah, you're right, we often say, oh, you're attacking me. You're judging me. I'm offended. We play the victim. But God places sharpeners in our lives, people who refuse to let us stay dull on purpose. These people are in our lives for a purpose. And so I want you to ask yourself, what part of your reflection are you avoiding because it makes you uncomfortable? What truth are you afraid to say out loud? Because that means you now have to acknowledge it. What is it that you are afraid to look at in the mirror? Y'all, I talk about it all the time that my point of wanting to change was when I looked in the mirror and did not recognize myself. I did not like the person that I saw in the mirror. And that was when I knew that something had to change. I could not keep living my life the same way, because how is it that I can look in the mirror and hate the person looking back at me? I did not like who I had to become to survive. So what part of your reflection are you avoiding because it makes you uncomfortable? Point number 2, we react to feelings instead of the message. Y'all, like Proverbs 9 verse 9 tells us, instruct the wise and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous and they will learn even more. See, this means that correction is a part of the process. Correction is a part of the growth. But what we do when we get the message, no matter what form it comes in, because sometimes people can be rather blunt. But did they lie about what they say? Is what they said rooted in truth? Is it true? Did they lie? So usually when we hear correction, our first response is, I didn't like how that made me feel. But we don't ask, is what they said true? Was that true? Was that facts? What did they lie about what they say? Yeah, I may not like how they make me feel, but feeling doesn't matter when correction is at the core. When growth is your growth is being stunted. Feelings doesn't matter. Is this going to help me be a better version of myself? Is what they saying for selfish gain, or is this to help me become better? We don't stop to think about these things. We only focus on how we are feeling, and emotions are fleeting, but the truth still remains. These feelings are loud, but the truth is silently waiting for you to accept it. And the danger here is that when we process correction through emotion alone, we miss the message. We miss the wisdom that's wrapped in it. We rarely pause to evaluate. We rarely pause to evaluate what was the person's intention. Was it love? Was it ego? Does this person care about me? Is this something I needed to hear, even if the delivery wasn't perfect? Am I reacting to their tone or truth? And yes, people can work on their tone, right? Because sometimes, we believe that perception is reality, right? Reality is reality, but oftentimes perception is reality for most people, right? And so the tone in which things are said in can throw us off, but don't miss the message. Don't miss the message. Don't focus on the tone. You can approach the tone at a later date, but what was said? What was said, is it something you needed to hear? You can always say, hey, I don't like the way that you're speaking to me, but I hear what you're saying. And you're right. Maybe you could work on your approach, but you're right. How I know that the pride comes in, right? Pride comes in because we don't want to give somebody that much power. But is that power if they are helping you become better? Is that correction hindering your growth? Or is that helping you to be a better person? See, the message is the medicine. The delivery and the method in which they delivered the medicine was simply the spoon. Don't not, do not miss the medicine because you didn't like the spoon that was used. The medicine is what's going to heal you, not the spoon. The medicine is what's going to help you grow, not the spoon. So don't miss the message. Don't miss the wisdom because you don't like the spoon that was used. You don't like the delivery that was used. And so I want you to reflect on this question. The last time someone corrected you, think about it. When was the last time someone corrected you? Did you evaluate the truth of the message or only the feeling that it triggered? Did you evaluate the truth of the message or only the feeling that it triggered? And the third point is that I started off with saying this, is that accountability is a form of love. Accountability is a form of love. Ephesians 4:15 says, but speaking the truth in love may grow up in all things to him who is the head, Christ. So we all say that we want to grow. We all say that we want to transform our lives. We want to be better. We want to elevate. But we get offended by the very people that were sent to help us get to that point. We get offended by the people that God has placed in our lives, our destiny helpers, the people that are going to challenge us, the people that are going to challenge the way that we think, the way that we speak, the way that we show up in the world, the way that we show up for ourselves, the way that we honor God, the people that are going to pour into us and speak life over us. We get offended. But the beauty of accountability, and I was just telling my students tonight, that, I love accountability, y'all, because my coach, so coaches have coaches too. And my coach, y'all, I've been going to bed. I've been working very late. And me and my coach, we've been going back and forth about my sleep pattern because I'm an early riser, but I also have to get in my 7 hours of sleep. And so if I go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, then you guessed it, I'm probably not getting up until 11 if I don't have nothing scheduled in the morning. And usually my work day starts at 11. The latest I typically sleep in, if I'm being real honest, the latest I'll sleep in is about 9 o'clock if I go to bed late. Okay. And so it doesn't matter what time I go to bed, the latest I will sleep in is 9 o'clock. And so I'm usually not as productive in the morning if I've had a late night. And so, we've been going back and forth about this for months, but y'all, my life has been like this. So every time that I would get back into the routine of my sleep pattern, something comes and it disrupts it. And I know, like, sitting down and reflecting about it, I know that's the challenge right there. The challenge is even keeping that schedule in the midst of the disruption. But y'all, like, my brain flows, and I think I've shared on this, like, at night, like, my brain flows. Like, I get in a rhythm, and once I start working, that is it. Okay, I'm in a flow, and before you know it, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, dang, I need to go to bed, but I'm still like, okay, let me just wrap this up. And so it has messed up my sleep pattern, right? And I'm very productive in the morning. When I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, on the nights that I do go to bed early, when I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I get so much done by 8 o'clock. Those first 3 hours, like, so productive, right? But when I get up at 9, now I only have an hour to do my devotions, do everything before my work day starts. And so we had this conversation back and forth. And so he sent me this long text last week, and I got defensive, right? And I know his intentions. And I started to get defensive, and I started to explain everything that was happening and why this and why that. And he was like, Ash, he was like, you're out of alignment. He said that your problem isn't what you think your problem is. Your problem is you are out of alignment. And so that was last week. And so yesterday, I had a late night, y'all. The night before, I had a very late night. And so he called me at about 8 o'clock in the morning and woke me up because I had probably just gone to bed a few hours before that call. And he woke me up. I was still sleeping. I was like, okay, I need to answer this because I missed his last call. And so he could hear the sleep in my voice. He was like, what time did you go to bed? So I told him what time I went to bed. and and I did not tell him the correct time because I already know he was going to chew me alive if I had told him the correct time. I was like, I think around 2. It was more around 4, but I was like, I think it's around 2. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. But so, so I have to laugh. So he said to me, he gave me such a gut punch, right? A gut punch. He was like, Ash, he was like, if you go to bed, if you wake up any later than 7 a.m., I'm not working with you anymore. I was like, what? Like, no, I can't lose my coach. But that was the reality check that I needed. That was, y'all, I got this morning when my alarm went off at 5 o'clock, I was up. I was up, y'all. I have to laugh. And I went to bed at 12, right? It's funny. I can laugh about it because I appreciate it, right? It's not something that I take for granted. I don't take him for granted. I don't take my growth, my intentionality for granted. And so, I have to be intentional about my sleep pattern. That's simply what it is, right? And yes, I may be in flow at night, but I could also be in flow early in the morning. So if I just shut off by 10 o'clock, I am good. And so, anyways, I say all that to say that I appreciate the accountability. And I was telling my students tonight, I said, we all need people in our lives that are going to hold us accountable. I said, just as much as I'm coaching you, I also have somebody coaching me because I do have big dreams and goals. And so I also need somebody to help me get to those places where I'm desiring to be. And so, we have to appreciate the people that hold us accountable, that loves us enough to give us that tough love to help us be better versions of ourselves. You can't get offended because the intentions, and when someone's intention is pure for you, when it's all about love and seeing you be the best version of yourself, it protects your purpose. That accountability safeguards your growth. That ensures that you are growing and you are evolving. It challenges your patterns. Y'all, my sleep pattern was truly challenged this morning because I wanted to sleep. I wanted to get in my other 2 hours. And so, I have to laugh, y'all. Y'all see me laughing. I have to because I appreciate it so much. I truly do. Accountability really calls out the woman that you desire to become, the woman that you say that you want to become. When somebody is holding you to that, you cannot get upset. You get to evaluate the intentions of the people in your circle, because some people are going to hold you accountable because they may want to control you. But those that hold you accountable because they want to see you whole, they love you, they want to see you be the best versions of yourself, those are pure voices. Treasure them, honor them, do not push them away. And so I want you to sit down tonight and reflect. Who in your life consistently holds you accountable from a place of love? And have you been resisting them? Have you been pushing them away? Have you been playing the victim? It's time to stop playing the victim. It's time to own up and acknowledge the truth that they are sharing with you. Thank them and be honest with them. Maybe you don't like their approach. Maybe you can talk a bit better, right? I know that was one of the things that I had to work on because I could be very blunt and straightforward. But some people do not receive information well if you are just so blunt with them. And we're called to speak truth in love. Ephesians 4:15 tells us that we can speak truth, but make sure that it is well received. Make sure that you're speaking in love so that the person on the other side hearing it receives it. We get to also work on our approach. We get to work on how we get the message across. It's not just always, oh yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth. But we could also work on ourselves if we are the deliverer. If we are the spoon, we get to work on ourselves. Even though the message is the medicine, we also get to work on the spoon that we deliver it in. Maybe the spoon might be too small. You might be too short with the person. Maybe they need a little more explanation. Maybe you need a bigger spoon, right? So understand that we get to evaluate the people in our lives. Those that want to control us and manipulate us and keep us down, yeah, we get to evaluate them too and love them from a distance. But those that are pouring into us, that want to see us grow, that want to see us become the best version of ourselves, that want to see us rise higher, whether you're paying them or not, right? Because yeah, I might be paying my coach, but he's also a friend. He's also someone that I could sit down and have a heart to heart with, that I can talk to him about God, right? This is someone that who's going to pour, because guess what? After he said what he said yesterday morning, you know what he did? He prayed. We prayed together on the phone. That's someone that I know have my best interests at heart. That's not someone that's just being my coach because I'm paying them, but that's somebody that has my best interests at heart, that wants to see me not only grow financially in my business, but that's also somebody that wants to see me grow spiritually, that wants to see me grow emotionally, mentally, just as a woman in general. Yeah, that's someone who has my best interests at heart. And so understand that we have to evaluate those in our lives, but we also have to treasure the people that are looking out for us. Okay. And so here are some action steps before we close out that I want you to put into practice this week. So, first, I want you to identify your mirror people. Okay. These are the people that lovingly challenge you to rise higher. Write them down. And maybe they may be a little rough around the edge, but these are the people that want to see you be better. Write down 2 or 3 names, maybe if you have more, but identify them. Okay. Number 2, I want you to evaluate your reactions. Think about the last time somebody corrected you. How did you react? Was it emotionally, or did you reflect on what was said? Number 3, I want you to have a courageous conversation. What does that look like? I want you to reach out to someone that you've been defensive with, someone that lovingly put the mirror in front of you, and I want you to express gratitude. Let them know that you recognize their intentions, you appreciate it. Oh, you could even let them know, hey, listen, I do recognize your intentions, and I do receive what you said, but maybe, I'd appreciate if you can, just shift your delivery a little, right? Because those who truly care about you, they also care about how you feel. They do. They want to get the message across. And so if you can bridge that communication and have that honest conversation, then that should be great if that person truly values you and if you value that relationship as well. Okay. And the last step is I want you to invite accountability in. I want you to declare over your life that I welcome loving accountability, because elevation requires honesty. Elevation, my growth requires people that are honest with me. Say it out loud. Declare it over your life. Speak it into existence. Remember, our subconscious mind does not know the difference between a truth and a lie. Whatever you say, whatever you speak with your mouth, you manifest into your life, because now your subconscious mind, if it hears it repeatedly, it is going to believe it. So if you say out loud that I welcome loving accountability into my life because my elevation requires honesty, guess what's going to happen? You're going to believe that. You're going to embody that, and you're going to manifest. You're going to bring forth those accountable people in your life that are going to hold you accountable. See, these steps, they shift you from resistance to growth. Now you can appreciate when people share things with you. Sometimes you may not like to hear it. Like I tell you, that Friday when he sent that message, like I read it and I was like, what is he talking about? Right. And I was not ready to hear it. Like I sent back an equally long, if not longer message. But that weekend I started to think about it. And I think I went live on Sunday. On Sunday, yeah, it was Sunday when I started talking about accountability and how I started to reflect on what was said, because I live my life in reflection. Like I want to make sure that the decisions that I make are not based solely on emotions, but also logic and rationale, and also God, because and Him first and foremost, because sometimes God's logic defies man's logic, right? So not just focusing on my logic, but also seeking Him. Like, God, what do you desire? Like, God, help me in this area, okay? And so I started reflecting on Sunday, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, he's right. And so I started talking, and this is where this topic for tonight came from: the fact that, and I appreciate the accountability. Like I welcome it, because I know that it is forcing me to be better. It is encouraging me to elevate, to step up, to live in alignment, right? And so I want to close with this. So if this episode, if this blessed you, if this stretched you, if this showed you a part of yourself that you've been avoiding, if this episode placed a mirror in front of you, I want you to leave a comment. Let me know how this episode made you feel, but also share it with a friend who also needs accountability on their journey. Accountability is vital. Anyone that is seeking growth, seeking to become better, seeking to walk in alignment with the woman that God has created them to be, if you are desiring to elevate, if you are desiring to become more, to walk in purpose, to reignite your faith, to rebuild your identity, if you are desiring to release the past, guess what? You need accountability. You can't reject it. You cannot reject it. You cannot reject it. And do you guys know that God holds us accountable? Those convictions we feel, that's God holding us accountable. And He sends people for that very purpose. He places people intentionally to get through to us. This is why community, the right community, is important. And so make sure that you like, comment, share, turn on your notifications, subscribe, so that you never miss one of these episodes, y'all. We go live every Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you are new, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays, we are here with another major insights into faith, healing, and purpose. So if you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to heal, if you're ready to grow intentionally, click the link above, book a restoration call with me, sign up for our newsletter. But I just want to say that I love you, that I'm praying for you, and that I will see you guys next week, Thursday, okay? Ta-ta. This is a major insight into faith,
Healing and Purpose with Ashley Major.